There's no vindication for me because for 4 years I've been screaming not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
And we are getting word that that these accusers could soon testify in front of a grand jury in New York, and that one accuser is from Detroit.
Now here's the twist. Hold on to your seats because this just got even more intense. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gan Deal, who has all the insider knowledge, has dropped a bombshell. The FBI could be setting its sights on none other than Jay-Z next. That's right. According to Deal, this investigation isn't just about Diddy. The circle could be widening, and Jay-Z, another powerhouse of the industry, might soon find himself caught in it too. The idea alone is jaw-dropping. Imagine two of the biggest names in music, with decades of fame, influence, and untouchable legacies, potentially facing a downfall no one saw coming.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't stepping in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
So why is Diddy even in this situation to begin with? What kind of investigation could threaten someone of his stature and influence? Well, the allegations are nothing short of explosive. Diddy is facing accusations of orchestrating a complex network that goes far beyond typical misconduct. We're talking about a carefully crafted scheme allegedly spanning decades, involving manipulation, exploitation, and a web of control Diddy is said to have used to keep those around him in line and quiet. Imagine the power dynamics here, with Diddy reportedly hosting elaborate events that kept his inner circle bound by a strict code of silence. This is like something out of a crime drama, but in this case, it's all happening in real life. And now, Jay-Z might be next in line to face the heat.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're gonna do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
This is where Jay-Z's name starts coming into focus. Jay-Z and Diddy were more than just industry peers. They were close, tied together through business, social events, and a history of high-profile partnerships. Both rose to fame in the 90s, with Jay-Z building his empire through Rockefeller Records and later Roc Nation, while Diddy was creating Bad Boy Records into an influential powerhouse. They shared stages, celebrated milestones, and moved through the industry side by side. Their connection runs deep, and when someone in a position like Diddy's takes a fall, it can shake everyone around them. According to Gan Deal, this connection could be why Jay-Z might now find himself in the hot seat as well. And if Deal's claims hold any weight, the FBI may have a serious interest in following this trail.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
But let's not just take Deal's word for it. If we look at the public side of things, this doesn't seem like a wild accusation out of the blue. Diddy and Jay-Z's long-standing partnership is well documented, and their high-profile friendship has put them side by side at some of the most exclusive events, like Diddy's famous white parties and other extravagant gatherings known for going far beyond your typical Hollywood bash. These were events where only the elite could enter, and secrecy was reportedly paramount. As we dive deeper, we'll see that these weren't just social occasions. They had a darker edge, with an exclusivity that created an almost cult-like atmosphere, drawing guests into Diddy's world with promises of fame, luxury, and indulgence. And who was often right there with him? Jay-Z.
It's getting hot.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Another layer to this story, Anne-Marie. A federal investigation into Combs has been ongoing, but he has not been charged.
Diddy's white parties have become the stuff of legend. Imagine sprawling mansions decked out with the finest decor, every celebrity imaginable dressed in white, mingling, dancing, and living in a world most people can only fantasize about. But these weren't just any parties. According to some, these events were meticulously orchestrated by Diddy, who controlled everything from behind the scenes. There are whispers that these gatherings included exclusive areas known only to a select few, where the atmosphere took an unexpected turn, and where certain guests might have found themselves in compromising situations. Rumors of hidden cameras and restricted access have long surrounded these events, hinting at an environment where privacy may have been far from guaranteed. Things are definitely heating up.
The special housing unit is a 24-hour lockdown unit, which means that any movement within that unit is controlled and coordinated, and no inmate moves outside of his cell without being in full restraints, to include leg irons, handcuffs, a belly chain, and at least 2, if not 3 staff members escorting them.
So how does this all connect back to Jay-Z? According to Deal, the FBI seems to be focused on the big picture here. This isn't just about isolated incidents, it's about a much larger network. If Diddy was at the center of a secretive web, then anyone closely connected to him could potentially be implicated or, at the very least, questioned. Deal's comments hint that the FBI may be scrutinizing those who were part of Diddy's inner circle, especially those he frequently collaborated with on high-stakes projects. With Jay-Z's career and reputation so closely intertwined with Diddy's, there's a risk he might be seen not merely as an observer, but as someone within an environment that may have enabled certain actions.
So maybe some solution where his money could help us craft, he could build a separate jail cell, and we could keep him there. Just interesting to me that they sort of said, nope, you're gonna be treated not like everybody else, but a lot like everybody else. Having money doesn't do it. So I wouldn't want to be those judges. There's sort of a no-win situation for this.
To grasp the weight of this situation, let's examine Diddy's business empire and how it might have acted as more than just a revenue stream. Diddy didn't stop at producing music. He built a lifestyle brand spanning fashion, television, and nightlife. From his MTV show Asterisk making the band Asterisk to his successful Ciroc Spirits line, he created an empire rooted as much in influence as it was in income. But according to insiders, this empire might not have been solely about business. Deal and others suggest it could have been a carefully calculated way to draw people into his orbit, enabling him to maintain control over those within his reach.
On a different level, because I'm seeing him go from his independence to then becoming Puff Daddy, you know what I'm saying? And I got a front row seat looking at that.
Imagine the scene: young talents lured into Diddy's world with promises of a big break, surrounded by luxury, but gradually realizing they were in a situation not so easy to escape. Deal's comments depict a man who allegedly used his power not only to elevate others, but also to control them, binding them through loyalty, secrecy, and at times, intimidation. As these allegations unfold, it starts to make sense why the FBI might be widening their focus, not just on Diddy, but on others within his circle.
And Stacey, you say today's indictment reads like a mob indictment. What was most shocking to you of all these allegations?
Yeah, the fact, Jake, that the government in this indictment presented evidence alleging that Sean Combs was running a criminal enterprise.
So why would Jay-Z, one of the world's most successful artists and entrepreneurs, risk his reputation by staying so closely connected to Diddy? The answer might lie in their shared ambition and the deep interweaving of their careers. Both men had a vision that went far beyond music. They aimed to shape culture and create something lasting. And for a while, it worked. They both rose to the very top, becoming not just musicians, but cultural icons. Yet, as we've seen time and again, the higher the climb, the harder the fall.
It's so funny what's happening with Diddy because this was inevitable.
The FBI isn't just skimming the headlines. They're piecing together a puzzle that could unveil a pattern of behavior extending back years, if not decades. According to Deal, they're particularly focused on Diddy's closest allies, those who were by his side during his ascent, who attended his events, and who may have witnessed things the public has never known. Jay-Z, as one of those allies, could be facing scrutiny that goes well beyond mere friendship. If the FBI has indeed gathered evidence linking him to Diddy's alleged operations, he could be facing consequences far greater than anyone could have anticipated. It's a situation that's unfolding in ways that are almost surreal.
If you're just joining us here, was just arrested and taken into federal custody in New York tonight. Sources tell TMZ Homeland Security swooped into a Midtown hotel late Monday where Diddy was staying, and they arrested him.
The potential impact of this situation is immense. Jay-Z is more than just a rapper. He's a cultural force and a businessman whose influence reaches into sports, fashion, and philanthropy. His association with figures like Diddy has long been integral to his brand, crafting an image of power, connection, and shared success. However, as this investigation unfolds, there's a real risk that this same connection could become a liability, threatening to tarnish a legacy that Jay-Z has dedicated decades to building.
Right?
Nah, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
As Deal has emphasized, the FBI is not taking this investigation lightly. They conducted searches, gathered evidence, and reportedly interviewed numerous witnesses from Diddy's orbit, making it clear that this isn't just a fleeting scandal. It's a full-scale investigation that could change our perception of some of the biggest names in entertainment. As the pressure builds, there's an increasing sense that Jay-Z's time in the spotlight might soon shift from admiration to scrutiny. But if you thought the intrigue surrounding Diddy's arrest couldn't get any more intense, brace yourselves, because we're about to delve into the heart of Diddy's infamous freak-off parties. These events were unlike anything else in the celebrity world. A mix of extravagance, secrecy, and rumors that often left guests with more questions than answers. Picture private gatherings held in sprawling estates and exclusive hotels, each designed to be a spectacle. For those in the inner circle, invitations were highly coveted, but the tales from within. Let's just say that even those fortunate enough to attend weren't always keen to share what transpired behind closed doors.
You understand? I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak-off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make up their brand.
What we do know paints a vivid picture of the environment Diddy allegedly cultivated, one that appeared luxurious on the surface, but harbored a darker underbelly. These parties reportedly featured a heavy security presence, creating an atmosphere where once you were in, you were very much in. Rumors circulate about expansive rooms adorned with lavish decor, along with secluded sections where guests could retreat for private conversations or indulge in various activities. Sources within Diddy's circle have hinted at the availability of supplies far exceeding what you'd expect at a typical Hollywood gathering. During a raid on one of Diddy's Miami Beach properties, authorities uncovered an almost unimaginable stash of party supplies, including over 1,000 bottles of certain products that suggest what might have transpired behind those velvet ropes.
Ruining lives. And now they've indoctrinated these kids into thinking that this is the way because this is what they know.
Then there's Justin Bieber, who has had his own memorable moments with Diddy. One particular incident from 2009 has become infamous. Diddy and Bieber spent 48 hours together in an experience that Bieber described as a teenager's dream. But what exactly transpired during those 48 hours? Diddy himself didn't provide many details, which only fueled further speculation. As Diddy's scandal unfolded, this video resurfaced, drawing even more attention to the unusual relationship he had with his young protege. Imagine Bieber, fresh-faced and eager to learn, being thrust into Diddy's world of fame, wealth, and limitless access. Looking back now, it's hard not to wonder what other experiences those 48 hours involved.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to. He won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70. That's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
The list of celebrities connected to Diddy doesn't stop there. For years, Diddy's white parties were the talk of the town, gathering Hollywood's elite, all dressed in white, for an exclusive night of revelry. We're talking about a guest list that included stars like Leonardo DiCaprio, Mariah Carey, and even Kim Kardashian. While these parties were known for their extravagance, sources suggest that the real headlines were made in certain private rooms, where the events were not the kind you'd read about in the morning news. There are even rumors that some attendees felt uncomfortable with the atmosphere, although few were willing to go on record about what they witnessed. Could this sense of unease be what is now coming to light as more accusations emerge?
We saw in that video totally eviscerated his credibility.
The world that Diddy allegedly crafted didn't exist in a vacuum. His connections ran deep, and the reach of his empire extended into music, fashion, and media. Many now speculate that these businesses may have served as gateways for young talents who, once they entered his orbit, found it difficult to escape. Imagine an aspiring artist dreaming of stardom, suddenly connecting with one of the most influential names in music. The promise of fame can be intoxicating. But what happens when that promise comes with strings attached? Cassie Ventura, a singer and model, has shared her own experiences with Diddy, alleging years of manipulation and control that left her feeling trapped. Cassie's story isn't just an isolated account. It appears to be part of a larger pattern that, according to sources, was woven into the fabric of Diddy's entire operation.
And a lot of the evidence, alleged evidence, that's been gathered in this case was from those two raids that were conducted on his personal homes in Miami and Los Angeles. And the indictment names the things seized that he allegedly made videos of these performances that have been named for.
Now let's delve into the environment of manipulation and, as some allege, control that Diddy created. Beyond the flashy parties and music videos, there were whispers of something far more calculated. It's said that Diddy had a unique method of maintaining influence over others. Hidden cameras, for instance, were reportedly part of his strategy, serving as an insurance policy that ensured loyalty and silence. Imagine a system where guests were recorded without even knowing, with footage that Diddy could potentially use later as leverage. The mere thought of it sends chills down the spine, doesn't it? If this kind of strategy was indeed in place, who knows how far it might have reached? Celebrities who attended these events might now be questioning whether they too were caught on camera. The FBI's investigation reportedly includes video evidence from these parties, adding yet another layer of complexity to the case.
You know, I think in federal court and for these charges, they would say it's routine, but in the public realm, this is very significant, just from who we associate Diddy being and everything we've seen him do over the decades. Like you said, this is quite the downfall to go from, I mean, we saw the mansions back in March that were raided by the feds. So to go from living in those mansions to being in a jail cell right now, I think it...
As the investigation broadens, questions are emerging about how Diddy's connections influenced his business operations. Bad Boy Records, for instance, was not just a music label. Some allege it functioned as a recruiting ground for those drawn into Diddy's inner circle. With his record label, Diddy had access to fresh talent, young artists eager to make a name for themselves. But with that access came influence, and as the rumors suggest, potential manipulation. Bad Boy was once a powerhouse in the music industry, home to major artists who defined the hip-hop and R&B scenes. However, some now wonder if the label's influence was used for purposes far beyond simply producing chart-topping hits.
But after that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
The reach of Diddy's alleged manipulation extends beyond his business empire to the very relationships he cultivated within the industry. One striking example is his friendship with Jay-Z, who stood alongside Diddy as a close ally for years. The two men were photographed together countless times, sharing stages, hosting events, and representing the powerhouses of hip-hop. However, that relationship is now under scrutiny, with deals suggesting that the FBI is also focusing on Jay-Z. The mere thought of this raises the stakes significantly. Was Jay-Z merely a friend and collaborator, or did he know more than he has let on? Deal's comments suggest that the answer could be more complex than anyone initially assumed.
Diddy Combs into custody. He's seen in this video entering the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown Manhattan with others when agents from Homeland Security Investigations approach and separate him. They place Combs under arrest and lead him out the front door in handcuffs.
As the story unfolds, the implications extend beyond just these two men. The music industry itself is being shaken by what is coming to light. Fans and followers are questioning the culture that allowed such actions to go unchecked for so long. For years, the industry has been a world of glitz, glamour, and mystique, but now a darker reality is emerging. The public is starting to see cracks in the image that Diddy and others worked so hard to maintain, and those cracks expose an undercurrent of control, secrecy, and alleged exploitation.
I have information that he was arrested tonight at a Manhattan hotel. He is currently being processed. I heard from his attorney they are still maintaining his innocence. They said that in anticipation of these charges that Diddy relocated to New York last week.
As fans witness this scandal unfold, they can't help but wonder who else might be implicated. Social media has erupted with theories, speculation, and demands for accountability. People are questioning whether other high-profile celebrities, those who regularly attended Diddy's events, could also come under scrutiny. Could the FBI's investigation pull even more stars into the fray? Right now, no one is safe from speculation, and the pressure is mounting on those who once stood proudly in Diddy's circle. The very industry that made them icons is now on the brink of a reckoning.
He will be sued. And I say will be because nothing has been filed yet by at least 120 people in the next 30 days. So,
as for Jay-Z, he may be the next to feel the heat. His silence in the wake of Diddy's arrest is conspicuous, and fans are taking notice. While other celebrities have distanced themselves from the scandal, Jay-Z has maintained a low profile. Is this a calculated move to avoid drawing attention, or is it an indication that he's already aware of what might come next? The FBI is reportedly investigating every lead, and if Jay-Z's involvement goes beyond mere unfortunate friendship, we could be witnessing the beginning of something monumental.
I think that even if we don't know our parents, we still have their DNA in us. You know? We have their genes, and I have this hustler's mentality, this hustler spirit, this drive, this determination, this swag.
But the real question on everyone's mind is just how deep this goes. The scale of the investigation suggests that authorities are preparing to make a significant statement, one that could alter the landscape of the music industry itself. As the case develops, it's becoming evident that we are only scratching the surface of this story. If Deal's claims hold any truth, Jay-Z's future could be hanging in the balance, and the consequences could be unprecedented.